And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short break and the lovely brutal OSC as we have returned. We have returned with our quarterfinals match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Potentially one of his final matches of at least this era of StarCraft, as he is going to be conducting his military service momentarily over the next couple of weeks. We have Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Taiwan. It is Lemon. I'll get on it. Hold on. Hold on, un momento. Lemon. Bam, beautiful. Just fixing up the UI. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamma going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions will soon close. So place your bets while you can on who you think will take this best of 3. Again, Dark, for those who are unaware, Dark, he did recently receive an award for the Kespa Hall of Fame, or the esports Kespa Hall of Fame. And Dark did have an acceptance speech referring to him leaving his team, leaving Talent Esports, and of course, soon going to the military service as well. Many people do assume, myself included, this is the reason why he left his team, why he left Talent Esports, and also why he did not play in Masters Coliseum, because Masters Coliseum is a 2-month-long event. It ends next month in January, most of the way through January as well, and if Dark didn't believe that he could compete in that tournament, then it would make sense that he would not accept the invite and be a part of Masters Coliseum due to military service. So because of that, we have to cast Dark while we can, while we still can, baby, while we still can. We need that Dark. We need it. Este Dark. But now, here we go. So far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener. We have seen a lot of Zerg players embrace more gasless openers here on El Dorado, but that is typically in different matchups, typically in ZvT. Against Protoss players, I'm curious how our players will approach this. We have seen a rise in popularity of Zerg players expanding towards the south, taking this triangular third base, and even taking the gold as a fourth as well, and taking this entire southern portion of the map, taking the forward base as well. We'll see if Dark does the same, or if he does take a different approach. Meanwhile, we have our take of choice, Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener here from the side of Lemon. Going to be going for the Stargate into, I would imagine, Oracle, but we'll keep an eye on him. It is not unheard of to go for something like a Phoenix or a Void Ray instead. The goal of any of the other units would be to deny vision, to deny scouting, and to hunt down specifically this Overlord, and to try to keep the Zerg player in the dark. That's only if it's not an Oracle, but Oracle opener should be the go-to. And the Stargate doesn't complete, and there it is. Oracle is on the way. Again, the Oracle does add a lot of value here in PvZ. It does allow you to scout, it does allow you to harass, it does allow you to defend as well. Oracles, they're just, I mean, a really solid all-around utility unit here, especially in the early game, which is also why it is common to open up triple Oracle into a third base. As both players are expanding vertically. Okay, that I was not expecting. I mean, I was expecting that out of our Protoss player, but Dark as well. Dark does also expand towards the north side instead. With this, both players are going to be calming things down, settling in. Oh, and we have our follow-up take of choice. This I was not expecting. Okay, so it's going to be Stargate opener Oracle into a third base, into a very fast Robo. Now, this Robo means that we delay the second Oracle. Second Oracle is delayed. The Overlord does confirm the Oracle is not in production. That is a sign, that is a tell that something is wrong, something is amiss. That money has to be spent somewhere. And Dark, he will check the ramp. Yeah, it does check the ramp, does confirm the Robo into a Twilight Council. Is this going to be like an Immortal Charge all in? I imagine that's the direction that we're headed in. I'm just not used to seeing a Robo this early on. It has to be for Immortal production, I would assume. The other option would be to tech up into a Bay, but I feel like if that was the case, we wouldn't be getting the Twilight Council. Gateway Explosion is upon us. War Prism is going to be in production. Lemon is still making probes, but he will soon move out across the map with a vanilla gateway. Oh no, okay. He is going for an Archon drop. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. The kind of the build order that we're seeing here isn't typically what we expect to see for when it comes to going for an Archon drop, but we got there in the end. did get there in the end. Ideally, it's lined up in such a way that this Temple Archives finishes up by the time the Prism gets across the map. Overlord Scout confirms that the Twilight Council is not researching. Immortal production has begun. And here come those High Templar. There we go. 4 High Templar. That's 2 Archons. And the Archon drop is upon us. Again, we bring this up whenever we cast Creator, but Creator, he's very fond of this opener. I mean, I say that. Creator, he's like the only Korean Protoss that does this. That goes for the more delayed Archon drop. Heading into the main. Catching a couple of transferring workers. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 drones go down. Prism backs up. Behind this, we do have our Hydra Den on the way. So Dark is going Roach Hydra. Trying to zone away that Prism. We will lose 1 Queen. Now 1 Queen goes down. And the Archons do survive. So far, good trades here by Lemon. Picks up a Queen, gets 6 slings, takes down 2 drones, and retreats. So far, so good. Archons pushing in. They catch an Overlord. Overlord goes down. Hydras are building up for Dark, bearing in mind that he hasn't really lost many of his workers, so his economy is looking solid. He's on 3 base saturation, and now Dark, he can focus on Roach Hydra production. He's got a 4th, but that should just be for Larva. Should just be for Larva here. Lemon setting up at his 3rd, building up more Immortals. Storm is on the way. And this Archon drop has done okay damage, so ideally this Archon drop is keeping the Zerg player busy, is forcing them to remake workers, but that is not the case. As we mentioned, not a single drone, or I should say only 2 drones went down, and Dark is focusing on his push. He's focusing on his move out. And we'll see if Lemon can survive. I mean, that's a lot of Immortals. That's 4 Immortals, nice stasis traps, Storm is almost done. He has the high ground. And Dark, he spots this, he doesn't like what he sees, he backs off. He backs off for a moment. He starts droning up his 4th. That's 8 workers on the way. Overlord speed as well. Dark, he does get eyes on the 4th. That is a better angle for Dark. And he might not be able to break the 3rd, but just ignore it. Just ignore the 3rd base, go for the 4th instead. Ooh, Oracle goes down. And the expansion is denied. And that's all that Dark has to do. Just deny the 4th and get his own. As Dark backs up. Likewise, Storm doesn't quite connect. Dark once again retreating. Does pull away. Nice Storm on the Hydras, catching out a couple of Roaches. The Dark escapes with most of his high quality army. Trying to bait out some Storms. Poking in. Massing on more Hydras. Oof. Takes another Storm to the face. Prism looking a little bit exposed, but thankfully doesn't siege. And behind this Dark, he's about to max out. He's about to max out on Roach Hydra. Overlord speed is done. Drop Lords are amassing. But alas, Lemon, he has how many Immortals? Jesus, he's got 7. 7 Immortals already. Against Roaches, he can trade well. But that's what the Hydras are for. And they do collapse in. They take down the Archons. No Storms. There it is. First Storm does land. There's 1 more Storm available. But doesn't quite connect. Nice stutter stepping here out of Dark. He collapses on the army, shuts it down. Sure, there are a lot of Immortals, but there's no support. Yeah, there's no support for the Immortals. They go down one after the other. They need some kind of buffer. They need Archons. They need Charge Lots on their own. Immortals are so fragile. And they're falling. And Dark, it looks like he has done it. He has broken on through. Lemon, he tried to get a 4th base here in the center, but alas, it's not going to stand for much longer. There's 2 Immortals left. Oh, nice juggling. 2 down to 1. And soon to be down to none. Yeah, GG gets called as Dark, he breaks on through, he snowballs out of control, and Dark takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Dark does take a lead in the series. And we'll see if Lemon can bounce back. See if he can bounce back. Again, it was a very unique build out of Lemon to go for the initial Archon drop into Mass Immortal production, into Storm, of course. As we saw, he did have a high Immortal count, but what he didn't have was, again, anything to support the army, anything to buffer, anything to help protect what was left over. And in the end, he was overwhelmed. In the end, Dark did break through. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for that second game. Here we go. Game 2 is going to be on... Oh, it's going to be in a very different map. A map that I don't get to see often enough anymore. Up next, we have Ultra Love. Okay, Ultra Love is going to be coming up next. And we'll see if Lemon can bounce back, because he is still sticking with Protoss. He's not switched this time. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing himself, currently teamless, but leading the series 1-0. It is a Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from the land of Taiwan, down in the series, but we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Lemon. Here we go. We have our game 2, and again, just a really unique build out of Lemon last game to go for the initial Archon drop. And I do think that he could have had a little bit more success. Unfortunately, if he had just been able to hold on to his 4th base. Again, El Dorado, the base locations and the expansions are quite awkward. They are quite awkward, so it can be quite difficult to actually maintain and actually hold on to that northern expansion. So unfortunately, he was denied it. Likewise, the Archon drop itself didn't really do much damage. We pointed it out. He only got 2 drones. He got 2 drones, he got 1 Overlord and 1 Queen, and that just was not enough damage to really slow Dark down. So now, hatch first. It's going to be hatch gas pool. Stay that open out of Dark. Likewise, across the map, we do have the block here at the natural. My apologies, didn't quite notice. But the hatchery is, the Nexus is going to be delayed, is going to be denied. Dark being as annoying as possible. Oh no, just keeps rallying in. And finally, we get the Nexus, but a very delayed Nexus here by Lemon. Ay ay ay. And Dark, oh, can he go for the gas steal? Not quite. Doesn't quite get the gas steal, but regardless, some nice damage nonetheless. The downside, of course, is that Dark, his expansion was delayed himself. Not as heavily, of course, as the Protosses, but was somewhat delayed. As Dark is going to be double expanding. I mean, the double expand makes sense just because his natural is later than it otherwise should be. So Dark is making up for it with a faster expansion, with a faster 3rd. Likewise, we have Dark scouting, does check the natural. We'll confirm the Stargate here. Stargate is going to be a part of the wall. The drone is still active. For at least a little bit longer. Oh, finally it goes down. And we'll keep an eye on Dark from here on forward. We'll keep an eye on any kind of earlier Roach Warren timing, earlier Lair timing. You can see Dark, he pulls out a gas at 100, so as a result, there's no early tech. Just link speed. Just link speed into droning, into Queens. In towards the mid game. Ooh, meanwhile, Dark, he was waiting for the attempt to shade across the map. Lings, they do slip in. And can he get a worker? Up, he does not. Barely does not get a probe, does deny some mining time. But shouldn't get much more than that. Likewise. That picks in. So far so good. Dark, he has minimized his losses, no major drone damage either in the natural or in the main. But we'll see if that changes here as the Oracle moves out. And this time there is a second Oracle. As a reminder, last game it was a Stargate opener into Oracle, into a Robo, into the Archon drop. This time, second Oracle into a 3rd Oracle, I would imagine. So this time a much more standard setup. Oh god. The Oracle takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Meanwhile, that is an earlier Twilight Council. And I'm leaning towards Glaive Adepts here. This could be one of two things. Either Glaive Adepts or an early Blink. Both play things out in very different ways, but I'm leaning towards Adepts here from the side of Lemon. We'll keep an eye on it. What's important? No Forge. No Forge, no upgrades, no +1. This is going to be very committed with the initial upgrade. And show us what you got. Huh. Blink. Okay, Blink, not Glaives. Now, with this setup here, we can be, or I should say, the Protoss can be very assertive and very aggressive early on with a much earlier Blink timing with Oracle support as well. And this can, doesn't have to, but it can lead into a 3-base all-in with 8 gates. For now, we have 4. We have 4 gateways in total. Keep an eye on that though. We'll see if extra gateways get thrown down. So we'll keep an eye on Lemon. Going for the Forge, going for a delayed +1. Lemon needs to reinforce and will soon move out across the map. Blink is halfway done. Now, Lemon is playing with fire right now, and he has to be very careful as he pushes in without Blink. Gets an Overlord, pulls away. Lings are amassing from the side of Dark. Dark making sure he doesn't get supply blocked. Lair is on the way. Dark saturating his 3rd. Link is almost done. You can see last Lemon he's setting up. His goal here is to try to break down that 3rd, or at least pick up some queens, pick up some workers, out-trade the Zerg. There we go, he does push in. Yeah, Blink is now done. You can go for the queens. Ooh, you can try at least. Lings are coming from behind. Stasis goes off. And Dark, he does not go. He does get 1, not even. Oh, does not get the Stalker. Nice movement here from Lemon. He pulls away. Did pull away in time. Pushing forward here towards the 3rd base. The line of Queens, the Will Queens, they're holding though. Yeah, they're holding well. Stasis runs out. Stalkers, they get surrounded. Stalkers are going down. Yeah, some brutal losses there for Lemon. Did bleed out 1 Stalker. But outside of that, has been trading very efficiently. And behind this Dark, knocking down that tower. Extra gateways on the way. I believe that is going to be a 6-gate setup. Extra gas is being taken, which means Lemon should be taking. We should be seeing Charge, for example. Like Charge on the way to reinforce with Zealots. Extra gateways. That's going to be a 7th and an 8th gateway. There, into Tech, into Storm. Tower gets knocked down. Dark is trying to hold on and trying to mass up his Ling Hydra. I mean, the Hydra production is underway. Yeah, much more efficient army here against Mass Stalker. So Dark is building up. He's on 3-base saturation, just under it. 4th base is about to finish. And even though these Stalkers have been trading very well against Lings, we haven't really been able to get into a mineral line. Looking at the Soul Stab here, you can see only 1 drone. Only 1 drone kill, 2 Overlords as well. These have been good trades against the Lings, but not enough. Or I should say, not really the amount of damage that Lemon was hoping for. He was hoping for more. He was hoping for more damage. Bearing in mind that a lot of these upgrades and a lot of this tech was delayed in favor of the Stalker aggression. And he needs a little bit more time to get away with it. You want Dark, he is building up. He's cutting workers at 66. There we go, now draining up a little bit further. Getting up to 69. Nice. 74 even. As Dark, he is able to hold on. He's not taking any further, bear that in mind. There's no infestation bit, there's no lurker den, there's no hive. Just laying a Hydra, now Roach. Likewise, Lemon getting his own 4th base up and running. His own economy has been untouched itself. So even though on the one hand Lemon hasn't really dealt much economic damage, he's also been able to maintain map control, which has saved his own mineral lines. His bases have been untouched. Storm is now done. And Lemon, he has potential. Ooh, Fleet Beacon on the way. That I was not expecting. Okay, Lemon going to be rushing into Skytoss, or at least Mothership. Meanwhile, Zelsa get caught out. Hydra's pushing in. Decent storm on some of those Hydras. The last Dark, he is maxing out, is catching out the army. Oh yeah, brutal engage here for Lemon. Nice ace does go up. Storms you on the Hydras. But reinforcements, they come in from behind. Ideally trying to catch out some of this High Templar, forcing the Archons. And the Archons are going to be targeted down. Zelce coming from behind. Nice clean up here at 11. Who surrounds who? As reinforcements, they come in as well. Yeah, just a very chaotic fight here, but in the end, it looks like Dark, he is getting some of those Stalkers. Zelce catching reinforcements. But the Ling Roach does collapse on the Stalkers. Oh, another Archon's going to be morphed in. No storms. But Dark, he is running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He did trade well against the army, but he did not get into the bases. Not quite yet. Tower gets knocked down. Dark, he's going to be remaxing once again. Mothership is on the way. Now, my biggest concern coming into this next wave of attack from Dark is no storm. Again, all the High Templar, they either died or were forced into Archons. High Templar, they just now morphed in. And without storm, this is going to be a tough hold. Here we go. Dark is maxed. He's got +2. And again, remember, Dark, he's not taking. He's not taking up. So potentially, if Lemon's able to hold on a little bit longer, he can outscale Dark in a longer game. But Dark, he peels off a handful of units, does head towards the natural. Nice storms on the Hydras. They do graze the army. But the natural has been broken. Tempest has been scattered as well. And Dark, he's going for the Stargate. He's trying to. Warpins are coming in. The mineral line is on fire. 16 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the economy does take a big blow. Tempest has arrived, and it looks like 11 should barely clean up this army. But at a cost. Oh, there's the cloak. Dark, no detection. Did cost Lemon 16 workers. But the worker count, they're neck and neck. And actually, I want to favor Lemon now. Lemon, he's now getting away with Sky Toss. Second Stargate is up and running, making mass Tempest. 2 Tempests at a time. Dark collapsing in. Trying to catch out the army. No storms. Ooh, no storms is brutal. Yeah, Archons are going down. Slow zone was a nice touch here. High Templar gets started. But Dark, he doesn't really have the kind of army that can really contest against this. Now we get the Spire, but this Spire is late. Again, no Spire, no Infestation Pit. Dark has an economy, but the quality of the army is just not there. Yo, Lemon, can he force that ace match? And now the Tempest count is building up. Dark, he does hit the left-hand side. Going for the Nexus. Trying to deny the 5th. Some Zelts to defend. There we go. More Zelts to get peeled off. More Lings as well. And again, the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Lemon. As long as it doesn't take any major losses. And I may have spoken too soon because this base may go down. More Zelts are coming to reinforce. Yeah, the base survives. Lemon holds. Lemon, he holds. He's making 3 Tempests at a time. Now, the Spire is going to help when it comes to at least corrupted reinforcements, but the Tempest count is going to be insanely high. You could argue that the Tempest count is maybe too high. Like, having like maybe 4 to 5, 6 at most Tempests, they do a great job at just being the backbone of your army, but they need support. Like, on their own, Tempests are not as ideal. They need Archon and Storm support. They need either Void Rays or Carriers as well. So I'm a little bit concerned about how high the Tempest count is, but we'll see. Good, it's gonna be 9. It's gonna be what, 11? No, sorry, 10. It's gonna be 10 Tempests and only 2 Archons, right? Like, that's my concern. With the corrupted reinforcements, especially if the corrupted count gets a little bit higher, then I mean, there's just not enough anti-air on the ground. There's gonna be storms, true. Speaking of, the corruptors, they poke in. Gonna be zoned away. They bypass the Archon. One Tempest goes down. He gets one. He's getting more. Or at least he's trying to. He gets a second. The second Tempest falls. Ground Army towards the fifth. Storms are brutal. Ground Army's going down. Lemon is still very much so in this game. Saves the expansion. Shuts down the Roach Hydra. More Corruptors are amassing. But here comes the main Protoss army. He's got how many? He's got 8 Tempest. Soon to be 9. I still don't see these Tempest surviving too well. It'll come down to the fight. That's a lot of Corruptors. And only 2 Archons. Now the Queens are coming into support. Storm's going to try to zone away. The Storms have potential. And the Corruptors, they dive in. The slow zone is brutal. Oh god, the Storm with the slow zone as well. And despite that, looks like the Corruptors, yeah, they will take down every single Tempest. The Tempests go down. And the Ground Army as well. Yeah, Darky takes the fight again. Too many Tempests. Just too many Tempests here. Not enough on the ground. And Lemon, he will lose the main army. Down to only Stalkers and Zealots. And with that, Dark is pushing through. I mean, again, that was maybe the best fight that Lemon could have hoped for. Like, Dark was even fighting in the slow zone. Like, the slow zone was not helping Dark. Despite that, he still took the fight. And now Dark, he's just snowballing out of control. He's just brute forcing it with Roach Hydra. That's a lot of High Templar. Jesus. That's a lot of Storms. And Dark, respecting it, does kite his heart out. Kills the natural. Does kill the natural. In this position, I mean, that would be when Lurkers would be ideal. Speaking of Lurkers, finally the Infestation Pit has been thrown down. We can head towards Hive Tech eventually. Stark is waiting for a split push. He's waiting for a split move out. Getting on top of the Robo. Getting into the mineral line as well. Corruptors, they go for the 4th. Hydras, they go for the 3rd. And Robo goes down. And Dark is just keeping, or at least forcing supply here to be pinned back. Oh my god, takes some massive storms to the face. Can he get the expansion? Oh, it's going to be close. It looks like he will barely get it. Nexus goes down. Darky gets the hell out of here. Has to pull away. It does so step out of there. And again, I mean, shout out to Lemon. Lemon, he did have some strong moments in this game. But as I mentioned before, like, I wasn't too convinced by the army that he had maxed out with. Did leave a bit to be desired. And with that, Dark did take the fight. Now looking to overwhelm. Hive is now on the way. Still no Lurker Den. Corruptors, they dive back into the 4th. As Hydra threatens the main army. Meanwhile, the Corruptor, can he get the expansion? Oh, not quite. The Corruptors do all go down. Just do fall. There it is, Lurker Den's on the way. It's a late Lurker Den for Dark, but it's at least in production. As this was rely on purely Roach Hydra Ling to deal with this army. So not the easiest way to deal with it, but I mean it kind of works. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So Hydra pushes in. We're now going to be deflected. Oof. And so far, Lemon, he is catching up in supply. He's slowly building back up. And nice storms. Again, Dark, he never really wanted to. I mean, clearly he did not want to make lurkers this game, but now he has to. He's like, fine, I'll make the lurkers, Papi. I'll make them. Aye. And once he does, he will be able to have his way with this. Unfortunately, there's just not a high enough immortal counts. When you're with a ground-based army, mass immortal Archon can do well against lurkers. I mean, even before the lurkers are coming for the surround. Storm goes off. I believe that was the final storm. No more High Templar. And who needs lurkers? Who needs them? Just mass Hydra. As Hydras are breaking through, there's the storm. High Templar just morphing in. Dark trying to lunge away. Get the hell out of here. Tries to pull back. Getting caught out. And show us the lurkers, Papi. There we go. 18 lurkers on the way. Send it, Papi. The lurkers are on the way. Carrier production has begun once again, but this does feel a little bit too late at this point. Dark, he can go back into Corruptors if need be. And we'll see if we even get to see these carriers as Dark is remaxed and pushing in. This time with the lurkers with the hive upgrades. Lurker range is done. Adapted talents still in production. But Dark is pushing in. Again, 18 lurkers. Still looking for a better angle. Headed towards the third. Last Lemon's out of position. Lurkers, they push in. Oof. And that's going to be not just the third base, but the mineral line and 2 robos. And the robos also under fire. Oh god, this army cannot push into this. It's not going to happen. He's going to try to come in from behind. But also take some massive spine shots to the face. Hydras, they push in towards the south. Carriers are revealed. The carriers, they have arrived. Let's go. I feel like Dark could still commit, but for now, pulling away. Now he pulls away. Once again, burrowing in. Ooh, diving on the High Templar. He gets 1, he gets 2. High Templar go down, and Dark can still just maintain his position. He could be making Corruptors, but he's just remaxing with Hydra. He's just making more Hydras. At this point, why not? As again, Lemon, he just cannot push into this army. The carriers are helping, but I mean, against these few carriers, Hydras, they can hold their own. Again, there's only 3 carriers. Tempest production has begun once again. Mothership has arrived, but the base goes down. The expansion does fall. Getting to the mineral line. Catching out a couple of lurkers. Lemon moving out. This is going to be his final push. Like, Lemon, his economy is in shambles. He's down to 41 workers. This is his moment. Dark still not making any Corruptors. Nah, we don't need them. Just committing to Hydra Lurker. Oh no, the probes, no! Get out of here! A bit of an early rotation, a bit of an early transfer. And the probes are going to go down. And again, Lemon doesn't really have many to begin with. Does recall over. Lemon, who will lose 15 workers. With that down to 26. He's on basically 1 base economy. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. And Darky's pushing in. He's pushing in towards that, the last mining base, really. The final mining base of Lemon. That's all he's got left. How many Tempest are we up to? 7. 7 Tempest, 3 Carrier. if there was an economy behind this, and if Lemon could max out, then I'd be all for it. Building up. Oh, there's an observer, thankfully. There we go. Observer does waddle in. At the same time, as Lemon moves out, the main army does dive forward. There's the cloak. There's the recall as well. Well, as the mothership goes down, the recall's denied. This is the final mining base. It goes down. GG gets called, and Darky will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Darky will claim the series. Congratulations. Shout out to Lemon though. Again, Lemon, he did fight his heart out, and honestly, there were moments in this game where I thought Lemon had it. With Lemon, he was able to survive the aggression of Dark. Dark was being punished for being all in. I was pointing out multiple times that Dark, he was not really thinking further ahead. He was not taking up. So because of that, his hive was very late. His spire was late. Like everything was delayed from the side of Dark. And because that, he was just stuck with like a more mid-tier army, which is why he had a hard time killing his opponent. And Lemon, he almost recovered. He almost was able to recover and almost able to take his own lead. But in the end, GG. GG, well played. Dark will take it. And with that, we're getting ready for our next for the next round. We're getting ready for the semifinals.